Alright, hey guys, and welcome to the Cigar Box Guitar Builder. I'm Adam Harrison from Birdwood Guitars, and today I am speaking with...
Mella from Barrel Dog.
Yeah, we rehearsed this really not. Mella from Barrel Dog, it is wonderful to talk with you today. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. We want to know all about you. Well, I want to know all about you, and I want to introduce you to a lot of people around the world who may not know you. They may not know your band. What is a very cool thing from my point of view, and you live with this every day of the week, is that I'm interviewing possibly, I think, maybe the second or third lady. It's one of those things. This is the cigar box guitar community is packed with men. It's a very male-heavy industry or pastime. And what I've been noticing over the last couple of years has been this absolutely brilliant increase in women getting into building cigar box guitars, playing with cigar box guitars, being in the industry. It's an absolutely fantastic thing. And so for me, from my point of view, I want to do a lot more interviews with women in the industry. And, mate, you guys rock.
Well, in Australia, we've got Fiona Boyd, who's just a little further up the coast than what I am. I'm in Port Macquarie. And we've got Anna Sconti down Melbourne way. And they're both, hammering the cigar box guitar. I'm not sure if they're quite as much an addict as what I am. I'm sort of heavily involved in the Cigar Box Nation forums and, lots of friends around the world who are cigar box builders and players. I'm not sure if they're quite at that level. I don't know if you know Hollow Belly from the UK, but there was recently a documentary done on cigar boxes in the UK by the BBC. And he talks about how cigar box is an addiction and be very careful because it's like a drug, You get one, you're into it.
That's true. Well, that's what happened to me. It was as simple as that. I built one, then I built two, then three, then four, and it's, I think I'm close to 1,900 since beginning. I think around 2013. So yeah, I'll have to learn how to play them soon.
Well, I'm the opposite. See, I'm a player. I'm not a builder. But recently I've decided I am going to start building, and my husband's a carpenter. So Mongrel Dog, who's in my band with me, he's actually a carpenter. And I've told him what I wanted, and, like anyone who has a tradie husband knows, you never get work done around the house that you need done. So I said to him yesterday, that's it. I'm taking things into my own hands, and I'm going to start building cigar boxes.
I love it.
And he said, you'll have to get, I think, a jigsaw or something. And I went, no, I'm one above you on that because I've already talked to the guys at the men's shed, and I'm just going to give them what I need, and they're going to cut it out for me. And then I'll put it together, so there'll be collaborations with the local men's shed.
That's fantastic. There's a friend of mine, Phil Ashby from Twangbo Guitars, and he's the president of the men's shed up on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. And yeah, if you've got connections with the men's sheds or any of those types of community setups, it's absolutely fantastic. And most of them are actually just really, really, really nice people who are more than happy to help you out with any activity you want to get into. So you're going to build your own, mate. And what plans have you got for it?
Okay, so ours are going to be dog boxes to be aligned with Barrel Dog, because in the Barrel Dog band, I'll give you a bit of an idea about the Barrel Dog band. So Barrel Dog is primarily me, so it's a bit like I was talking about Hollow Belly in the UK. That's his stage name, but he's like me, he's got his own name. So Barrel Dog is a stage name for me for when I perform, and then it goes from anything from a duo, because we're husband and wife, so Mongrel Dog, and I'm B-Dog, by the way, which is the bitch dog. It goes from us as a duo to a trio to right up to a six-piece at this point. So we all have dog names, The members of the band vary at different times depending on who's available. Everybody seems to work day jobs, particularly with the COVID shutdown. We've all had to go back to, regular work.
Yeah.
So, we have 2 different cajon players. We have a couple of different drummers, which we call our sticks dogs, and then we have a harp player that's just come in recently, so he's Harp Dog. We've got Old Dog because he's 70, and he hates it when I give him grief about his age, so he's the Old Dog. And then we've just got people that come and go at different times.
Yeah. That's and how do the audience kind of relate with that?
I think because I'm the front person of the band, it's okay because I'm the biggest personality. A lot of the boys that play, we're very diverse, okay? So if you imagine a town where you have a bunch of misfits that just don't fit into the right normal traditional style group, they're all with our band.
Yeah.
And I don't say that lightly because a lot of us have disabilities.
Yeah.
So I have chronic disease that I manage daily. So I have a disability. My husband has back issues. Harp Dog, actually, and he has no problems with me telling you this, he has cerebral palsy.
Yep.
I have a vocalist and a rhythm guitarist who comes in at different times, and he has an intellectual disability. We've got Old Dog, and that's just a disability in itself. Dog.
We've all got our quirks, but that's what makes us, and
Oh, well, anyone who's been with musicians long enough knows that if you've been performing in live bands, as you get older, it affects your hearing, and that's inevitable. And so, we have to yell at the Old Dog, so we call that his disability, that he's got selective hearing,
Could also be male fridge blindness as well, so...
Yeah, so we're really diverse. So I know I digress from the original conversation we're having, but that's our band. We're the misfits, the unwanted, the incredibly talented group of musicians that have come together and formed Barrel Dog.
Yeah. Well, from a builder's point of view, what I really love about the sound of that, and especially when we're relating back to, you building your own guitar, which I didn't know about before you just mentioned it then. The thing that I really like about that is it sounds like the instrument's not just being put together kind of on a whim or with... A lot of time builders will, when they first get into it, they'll go to an op shop and they'll find stuff. They'll get a whole heap of stuff, and that's what inspires the guitar. Now, it sounds to me like you're coming at it from a different angle, which is really cool, in that you're in this band...
coming up from a performer's...
Yeah, from a performer's point of view, but also from an aesthetics point of view of the Barrel Dog, and you think you've got that dog aesthetic. So you're actually coming at creating this instrument from that really artistic point of view, and it looks like almost a single vision, which is a real jump from one paradigm to another paradigm. So it's really, really cool. So I'm very excited. 3 or 4 string?
Single string. So that 3, didn't it?
Diddly bow. So, love
it. Diddly bow. So I started with a 3 string, and I really don't know how I was inspired to buy my first cigar box.
Yep.
So there's no, incredible story where I saw something. I actually can't remember. All I know is I found myself searching Gumtree. I must have seen one when I was looking through different guitars. I'll go back a step. I had a Gretsch guitar, hollow body Gretsch guitar, because I thought I was going to be the next best blues artist and play, all up and down the fretboard, and I couldn't bond with it.
Yep.
And so I think at the time I was looking for other guitars through Gumtree, and I'm pretty sure I stumbled across this 3-string in Queensland. Don't know the builder, wish I did. Bought it, got it, went, oh my God, I love this, but struggled going from 6-string to a 3-string.
Okay.
Started watching some Shane Spiel YouTube clips, as I guess most people do.
Yeah.
He is the self-proclaimed king, right?
Yes, all right.
Of Cigar Box Nation and Cigar Box Revolution.
I think self-named, but well-deserved, that's for sure.
Oh, 100%. Thank God for Shane Spiel and Hail to the King, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I love what he does, and I'm a massive fan. But, yeah, so then I watched Shane Spiel, and he was using a 4-string cigar box built by DB Brown.
Yeah.
Is it Brown? Oh, God, I'll be in trouble now.
DB, yeah, there's a couple of DBs. I think there's one in
DB
France, and then
Guitar.
there's, yeah. Sorry.
So it's DB Custom Guitars in Canada, Nova Scotia.
That's the one.
And so, yep. So then I wanted this resonator style 4-string that Shane was playing. So I started liaising with DB. It is Darren Brown. Yeah, I got it right.
Yep.
And started liaising with him. He custom built it for me, shipped it from Canada to here. So
You got it there?
if you do move to video,
Oh, lovely.
that is this baby,
Oh, that's beautiful.
which has the resonator in it.
Yep.
So he actually custom built this to my style with the whole rustic look and
Did he
feel to it.
put that up on Facebook or Instagram while he was building it?
Yeah, it's been around a little bit.
I've seen that,
sort of
yeah.
his style. He does do that style. But
That's
that one
gorgeous.
was specifically done for me. So they're all custom. As you know, yours are all custom.
Yep.
No two are ever perfectly alike. And then I got that one and I really started to bond with it. Started writing my own music. And then I just went from there to I want to buy different ones. So the only one I don't have at the moment is a diddly bow.
Yep.
And I want a diddly bow. So I'm going to start with that. It'll be the dog box. I'm thinking of doing a little front bit like a dog box. Instead of putting in a drainer kind of
Yep.
plug or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
I want to do a little bit of chicken wire.
Oh,
like
that'd be
dog
cool.
box.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
And then along the fretboard for fret markers, I'm going to burn in little dog paws.
Oh, that'd be gorgeous, man. That'd
So
be
they're
awesome.
very signature style
Yeah.
built. I want to go with the sort of pickups that you've done in your Duke Joint Rocker, because if people out there don't already know about your lightning boxes, holy shit, mate, they rock.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
So
You can
you know,
grab...
I do want to sort of follow that style, but
Yep.
probably a higher action for
Yep.
the slide for me.
Yep.
Your Duke Joint Rocker has actually prompted me to play, more sort of licks and stuff, which I wasn't doing.
That's cool.
Because of its low action. It's so versatile. I really do. I can't talk that guitar up enough.
Oh, thank you.
You know, the boys... It's the first cigar box, and this is no disrespect to Darren, but the Resonator cigar box has a banjo sound to it.
Yep.
And so most guitarists, like traditional guitarists, start twitching when you play anything that sounds like a banjo.
Yep.
Whereas your Duke Joint Rocker, as soon as I started playing that, the traditional guitarists in the group were like, "That is awesome."
I think a lot of people get scared. I think there's a lot of people get scared of a different sound, and this has kind of pushed me in with my building. This has pushed me in a direction where I'm focusing now. At the moment, I'm focusing a lot more on the electric guitar pickups, more so than the piezo pickups. I happen to be a huge fan of piezo pickups, but what I find is that the majority of if I use the normal guitar players, they don't get it. They don't get the sound of the piezo and how a piezo works. And that could be the same with resonators. A lot of people will pick up a resonator and they like the look of it, but they want it to sound like an electric guitar, or they want it to sound like a normal acoustic guitar, and it doesn't. It's one of those instruments, and piezo-powered cigar box guitars are the same. They're those types of instruments where you kind of have to adapt yourself to the instrument, not the instrument to you. Does that make sense? This is my feeling. It's obviously my word's certainly not gospel. If Shane Spiel's the king of cigar box guitars, I'm the local jester. So it's one of those things where you need to approach those types of instruments with a much more percussive attack. you can't generally use a lot of like overdrive or fuzz or distortion with them because they'll howl and feed back, and they can be very temperamental. You kind of really need to...
A little bit more tinny too.
Yeah, but that's a sound unto itself, and that's the thing I love about them. And that's, but I find, as I said, people, my customers, are generally really pushing those, pushing for more of the electric guitar sound. So at the moment, I'm having to go that way. But that's why I love things like DBs.
As well.
Yeah, absolutely. I have there is a little tip for you. There's a fella down in Melbourne, I think he's in Melbourne, Avocet Guitars, and I'm trying to get in contact with him because I'd love to interview him as well. And he's building some beautiful cigar box guitars, and he's just done, and this might be an idea for you because you want to build your own, he's doing a diddly bow, but he's got a high string with it. So if he's using an E string, the low E, he's putting a high string with it, and they're tuned in unison. So you can still have that diddly bow effect, but it's a slightly fuller sound. So that could be a thought. I'm just saying, yeah, it's like a chugger, like Shane Spiel calls a chugger.
Have you seen the double-necked diddly bows?
I haven't. No, who's been doing that?
Watch that BBC. I'm pretty sure it was on that one that I saw it, but it's like they do a double neck diddly bow, so they have two different strings. So whether or not they're using a high string and a low string and two necks, I don't know.
Yeah, but, I'll check it out.
Yeah, interesting concept.
Is this the guy that Chicken Bone John, I think, was talking about?
Is this the guy, sorry?
Is this the guy that Chicken Bone John was talking about just recently? I think he did a Facebook post or something.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, might be worthwhile checking out.
I'm not sure.
I love Chicken Bone John.
But cigar boxes are like children. You know, you were talking about how you have the resonator or the piezo pickups and stuff versus the guitar pickups or traditional sounding pickups. They're all like children. So when I go to a show, I want to take all my children because it depends on which song I'm playing, which style I've got. So I don't like to just play a gig all with the same instrument, you know. So sometimes I want to play a song. We've got one that's called Here Comes Johnny and His Monster Truck, and it's the resonator, and it's very hillbilly style. We play a hillbilly version of Shook Me All Night Long using the same sort of technique.
Yeah.
But then we go to this really heavy, ballsy, almost what I'd call heavy rock swamp for songs like Crack Shack that we do, or I do one that's about war veterans. It's called The Old Railroad Tracks.
Yeah.
And it's got that really heavy, driving sort of sound, and it's a lot heavier strings, heavier gauge strings on it, whereas the other one's the lighter gauge strings. I got to take all my children, and I don't have any favourites amongst my children because they're all individual.
Do you ever? Actually, I'll digress. I'll come back to this question, but I want to ask you another question first, just to give us an idea of Barrel Dog, the band. What type of music are you guys playing? So what kind of thing are you doing?
Yeah. If I was to answer this question and say, what would we do as a stage show if we were able to just be an originals band?
Yeah.
The answer would be swamp, blues, bit of blues rock kind of scenario.
Yep.
Tiny little bit of country influence in there.
Yep.
That would be our stage show. So if we went to a festival and we were doing a 45-minute set, that's what you could expect.
Yep.
But because, like most bands, we want to get work locally and, you know, improve our performance skills, we have to do 3-4 hour shows. So we go into, you know, a whole bunch of stuff to keep it versatile. And then we add in sort of this folk rock stuff, play a lot of acoustic stuff as well.
Yep.
And there's a lot of blues in there. There's, you know, in our EP, there's a song called Don't Go Down to the Crossroads After Dark.
Yeah.
And it's a bluesy thing done on the acoustic guitar. So it's still got this blues country mountain vibe, you know, like, I don't know. It's you have to hear it. We're our own genre. And I think cigar box guitar should be its own genre.
Yeah.
Because it's very hard to describe. It would just be lots easier if there was cigar box guitar as a genre.
I think you've hit the nail on the head, and it's really, really, really interesting in that I'm in a very, very lucky position because I had the shop up at Katoomba before COVID. I'd get visitors from all over the world. I'd get people from the United States, from Canada, from Europe, South America, from just anywhere and everywhere. You know, Asia, anywhere. And every single person who picked up, for example, a cigar box guitar, because it's obviously primarily what we're talking about, every single person who picked up one of those instruments approached it differently. Everyone approaches it very differently. Mm-hmm. So I would find quite often that Americans would come at it from a bluesy point of view. If you look at the videos that they do out of CB Giddy, the once a week videos, it's very folksy. It's very sea shanty-ish. It's very hillbilly's probably the wrong, jug bandy. It has a particular sound. And I love watching that because it is completely 180 degrees from anything I normally would play on a cigar box guitar. I find the English very blues, very blues, very hill country blues, like traditional. Blues. Sorry,
punk blues that has that really heavy, stompy.
It can be that as well, for sure. But the people I usually found, and if you look at what Chickambo John does and a lot of those guys, when I watch and listen to that, it's a very, to me it seems almost quite traditional. It's just, it's a me thing, and from people who've come in and played in the shop. Aussies pick up a cigar box guitar, and the first thing they usually hit you with is Angels, AC/DC, Barnsley, like anything rock. They'll adapt Aussie rock to the cigar box guitar, and it's this fantastic. Depending on where in the world you come from, you all approach it from different things. And I love what you do and the videos that you've done and the sound that you guys have got, which is just, to me, it's got a sound all its own. But I'm going to say it, it's very Aussie, man. It really has a very,
good.
very Aussie point.
Very Aussie. We had this conversation, and we've had a couple of different people think that we were from Louisiana, and I'm like, really? How do you get that? Like, I can hear this because I'm influenced by all the traditional players. Like I'm a Sunhouse fan, I'm a Howlin' Wolf fan. Robert Johnson. Yep. They're all up there for me. So that whole driving traditional blues stuff is in there. But then it's a hybrid of all the influences that I've had over my life, all the musical influences. And that goes from anything from Annie Lennox to, a modern band like the Vasco era. I'm a music freak, so I've been around music a really long time. From behind the scenes, I've only been a musician myself for the last 10 years. But before that, I've done, music journalism and booking agent and manager and all that sort of stuff. And the one thing that really stands out about Cigar Box in all the time I've been in the industry, let's face it, music industry is a cutthroat industry, and there's a lot of tall poppy syndrome. Yeah. That's undeniable. If you're a musician, you've come across this at some point, right? Where someone will throw you under a bus or, cut your throat to get ahead of you or whatever. It happens, right? Yeah. Undercut you, whatever. In Cigar Box world, it is completely opposite. It's like, mate, here, let me, do whatever it is that you need to help you get ahead.
Yeah. Yeah,
and I love that.
Yeah, I think a lot of that stems from, again, we'll go back to people like Shane Spiel and the giving. There's a very giving nature in the cigar box guitar industry. A lot of people are very open to sharing ideas. Let me just very briefly explain to our non-Australian listeners the phrase you just used then is the phrase called tall poppy syndrome. In Australia, we suffer from a thing called tall poppy syndrome, and that is usually when someone's doing very, very well. For some reason, a lot of Australians, you tend to put them down, and it's like, oh, you've gotten too big for your britches, and unfortunately, that can be really detrimental to people in whichever field they're in. Instead of actually celebrating people's wins and successes and you know, bolstering them and pushing them along. A lot of Aussies, we tend to put them down, you know. Jealousy, and it does come down to that, and it's not everybody, but it's definitely an Australianism. It's even, you know, my mum, I love her to death, but, you know, when I'd be talking about the kids and they might be doing so well at school, and so, you know, oh, don't let them get too big for themselves. Bam. That's tall poppy syndrome. You know, they're doing so great. They're doing really, really well. Yeah, but, you know, and I'll put my hands up now, and it's just good video. It's good audio. So, yeah, it's like, oh, again, slap to the forehead. So, yes. Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely a real
very
thing.
Different.
Yeah.
It's very different. As I said, you know, it's like, you know, they'd almost give you the strings off their guitars to help you if they needed to.
Yeah.
Even if it was at the detriment to themselves. It's just it's a very community.
Mm. But is that because, you know, it's come from a humble...
They say it takes a community to raise a child, right? It takes a tribe to raise a child and do it well.
Yep.
It's almost like it takes a tribe to raise a really good cigar box player and do it well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have that.
Yeah, I think we do. I think as a worldwide community, it's very, very rare to see people put others down. And one of the reasons I got into cigar box guitar building was I started actually building electric six strings, and I built a couple. I had this horrible run-in with this guy on Facebook, and I just went, whoa. I'm not doing that. I don't want to be involved in this. I don't want to have anything to do with it. And I didn't build anything for a year. And it was only when I saw Michael up, and I've told the story before. It was only when I saw Michael up at Noosa at the Yamundi Markets, the guy that's got the tent there, and he's still there. Like nearly 10 years later, he's still working out of there, building his guitars and selling his guitars there. And he was so nice, and I was so inspired. And that's when I built my first Anzac Bicky Tin cigar box guitar, you know, and that's the story of how I got into it. But I found that, and I found an industry, not an industry. I look at it from a business point of view. I'm a horrible person, but I found a movement which was just so giving. And you're right, totally.
Yeah, and it's really evident in my my Instagram, I think, more than my Facebook page. So. Instagram, I follow a lot of cigar box builders and a lot of cigar box players. And so the interaction that I get there is fantastic. You know, I put something up and it's always encouraging and it's positive. And whereas Facebook, for some reason, I don't get that same level of interaction with. And I think it's purely because they're people that have followed us, you know, from the gigs that we do, or they're a few friends or whatever. But it's a different audience.
Oh, totally.
So I love Instagram for that. Like I spend a lot more time on Instagram now than I do the other, because it's just so positive to have all these people. We're all cheering each other on. We're watching what each other's doing. We're watching the builds come out. We're watching, you know, and it doesn't matter if they can't sing. That's the other thing. I really don't care if someone jumps up and they're playing their new, you know, cigar box guitar and they're singing the best they can and they sound like a dead cat. Doesn't matter because they had a go. They good about it. Yep. I feel good about it because they feel good about it, so I'm going to cheer them on.
That's wonderful. It's grassroots music. It's a complete fight back against the industry, you know, as such.
Oh, 100%.
And that's the wonderful thing 100%. About social media. There's many negatives about social media. Let me be honest. It's like Facebook is just, sorry, I'm going to say this, bloody awful. Let's be honest. As a medium and as a way to interact between people, it's utterly horrible. Oh, and quite honestly, the only reason I'm on it is for business, generally. I'm trying to use it for more social things, but I found with the social things I've been putting up, I'm causing more arguments than I'm doing it. So I'm like, you can't win either way. As you were saying, Instagram is, if you're not on Instagram, get on it. It's an incredible community, and most people on there are so positive, and it's all about the images. It's all about the videos and images and things that you're putting out. It's a lot more positive. But I totally agree with you.
Less of the bullshit and the politics.
Yeah. But it's about the music, and it's about getting up and giving it a go and not caring. And, you know, and there's people out there who obviously have done very, very, very well, you know, And yeah, riding on the coattails of cigar box guitar thing. I mean, Justin Johnson, you hardly ever see Justin Johnson playing a cigar box guitar on video and things anymore. But I love the guy to death. I think he's done so much for the cigar box guitar industry. It's incredible. But he's moving and he's moving on and he's moving, and that's fine. That's okay. He's a multi-instrumentalist. It's crazy to think that he'd just sit there and just play one instrument forever. And then you've got all these other amazing people out there who just pick up and they'll go and do a video, as you're saying, and they'll just play live. Where can people see videos of you guys?
Before you move on to that,
I
heard last night Jimi Hendrix learnt to play cigar box. That was how he learnt guitar. He started on a cigar box.
Yep.
So I'd love to research that and find out if that's true. Do you know if that one's true?
It is true. He used a broom handle and a cigar box, and apparently Al Hendricks came home, saw the mess, and he just got into a whole heap of trouble. So it's a story that's gone back generations, I think, of, I can't remember who was it who told the story. Please don't quote me, but it might have been Muddy Waters who told the story of a cigar box guitar player of building a diddley bow, and he said it had only ever hurt you once because you'd use mum's broom wire, because that's the best wire. Fence wire's no good; it stretches too much. But broom wire that used to hold the straw together used to be the best thing. So you'd find a box, you'd find a length of timber, and you'd string it up, and you'd make a timber a peg head, that you'd drill a hole through, and you'd stick it through, and it'd just be held by tension, like a violin would, but probably much more crude. But you'd use this wire, and of course, Mum would get home, or would see the mess all over the floor. You'd get her hiding, but then you had your guitar, and that was the trial by fire, Scott Ainsley, I think, may have told that story as well, but that's obviously been handed. And I think Robert Johnson started on cigar box guitar. I mean, all of these guys. Bo Diddley's named after the diddley bow. That's where he got his name, from the diddley bow. And he played a rectangular shaped guitar that was in the shape of a cigar box. It's in the industry. It's ingrained. And the wonderful thing, and I know it's a very selfish thing, but it's like, we're the only people who know about it, Just us.
Okay, so to answer your question, where can they see videos? Instagram, I do fairly regular little snippets of stuff that I'm working on. I like to engage, I'll call them my friends.
Yep.
Then all around the world when I'm working on something. So I take them on a journey now. So I might put a snippet up of a new song I'm working on, and then, keep them involved in that process as it develops. So they're all short videos, not so much like a full song stuff. The full song videos are on YouTube. My battery's getting low. So you can find us on YouTube, all the video clips that we've released from our EP, which was Mongrels Unleashed.
Yes.
They're all up on YouTube. Just search Barrel Dog. There's a couple of different ones, but there are actual video clips for Barrel Dog. And we have a website. We just have a cheap Wix site.
Cool.
And we're on Bandcamp.
Bandcamp. Yep.
So you can find us everywhere.
iTunes or...
You want the free downloads? Sorry?
iTunes or anything like that?
Yeah, we're everywhere. So you just search us, you'll find we're in all the main shops and everything if you want to download us. I'd love people to jump on SoundCloud more, because we don't have a lot going on SoundCloud. People haven't seemed to discover us in SoundCloud yet.
A lot of people haven't even discovered SoundCloud. A lot of people don't know about it, It's one of those things.
We're not doing too good on the Triple J front, so I'd love people to bombard Triple J Unearthed and start downloading our music from there, and show them that Cigar Box is actually pretty cool, because we've been a bit overlooked on that one, which was a bit of a shame.
Keep pressing.
We're going to do some recording.
Oh, fantastic!
We've got about 12 songs, originals, ready to go. It's just a COVID, stopped us from getting into the studio, so
absolutely.
We're going to do that. We're going to focus on that over the next 12 months.
Now, can I make a suggestion? Anyone who, this is a thing that I do. I try and do this as much as I can. Obviously, the downloads and things on iTunes and all that sort of stuff is all great. But if you like something, especially if it's a single or something like that, guys, $1.69, buy it. If we all bought it, buy it. You own it. Get it. It's just, I don't know. It's a thing I've got. If I like something, I'm gonna buy it. I don't notice $1.69, but if enough people do it, the musicians get a little extra. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I just like that. I like chucking in a couple of bucks.
Some of our songs make cracker ringtones. My hubby had the guitar parts from Crack Shack as his ringtone because it's really bassy. I was going to say this before, actually, when we were talking about my guitars and my children. I also string all my guitars very differently, and I have them each tuned differently.
Yep.
So when I'm performing on stage, your juke joint rocker that I have that primarily tuned to an E and a D.
Okay.
Because I don't like to tune up much further than a semitone.
Yep.
Because I find that if I'm doing it too frequently, it does affect the strings, and they start to get they don't hold as well.
Mm.
So that's my tip for anyone who's tuning up and down a lot.
Yeah.
Try and stick to a semitone, one up or one down kind of scenario.
Yeah.
So I find it beautiful for my E and D open tuning stuff. Whereas my Resonator 4-string, it's primarily tuned to a G.
Yep.
So I stick to G, and if I could tune it to an A or, I don't know, what A going back one, F.
Yep. G.
That would be the safe for me.
G, A, yeah.
And then I've got a Buzzbox guitar, who's by another local builder in Sydney. Is it Mark Wilkes or Mike Wilkes?
Yeah, Mark Wilkes. Yeah. Buzzbox guitars. We've interviewed him a couple of years ago, and he's just such a lovely guy. He's just a really easygoing bloke. Very, very cool.
So I tune that to D as well, but where that varies from the juke joint, I put all low strings on that.
Yep.
And so it's almost like having a bass guitar. My husband gets annoyed at me because he feels redundant when I use that one as a bass player.
It's you can tune them down quite low.
Yeah, so they're all either strung differently and tuned differently, so they've got that different sound as well.
Yeah, guys, experiment with your tunings and stuff. That's a really great tip there, because I've just done that with. I've got an Epiphone Coronet, one of the new ones that just came out, and I'm a big fan of Ariel Posen. I really, really like Ariel Posen's playing, and he's actually playing in drop B. So it's open B. So I've actually put on a massively heavy set of 12s, still with the unwound third string, the unwound G, and I've actually got that tuned to open B, and it is just bombastic. It is huge, and because of the scale length, okay, you need if you're tuning down, go up gauges. All right, so that's a big thing. So if you're going to start tuning, if you think I want to tune much lower, go up to a heavier set of strings. So you go and get some Ernie Ball, heavy gauges. So play around with your tuning. I love that tip. That's really cool. Don't just stick with tuning.
Yeah, and I think it's one of, it might be Cigar Box Nation, but one of them, you can Google what strings to use for different tunings. And I found that incredibly helpful when I was beginning, because you have no clue, let's face it, when you first start out. But it'll tell you, basically which strings out of a pack of 6 you might prefer to use for particular tunings.
Yep.
So that's good for the newbies.
That's very, very cool.
Me, I just mess around now.
Well, that's half the fun of it. There's no rules. Well, there's some. You got to have scale length, and you got to have frets. And you got to put frets on your diddly?
No, fretless.
Yep.
The other thing I was going to say too is it's not just the gauge of the strings that makes a difference, it's the brand, whether they're brass strings, whether they're not, that's why when I broke a string on your juke joint, I'm like, which strings are you using? I don't want to lose the sound.
Yeah.
Because that sound is so important to me, and I know part of that is the strings.
Yeah, they're great. Listen, they're great strings. They're good little strings. There's nothing wrong with those.
Yeah, you should plug your strings. Plug your strings.
Oh, actually, they're not mine. They're Devil's Hand strings from.
But they're through your shop.
Yeah. We do sell them through the store. But mate, they're really great strings. I mean, I will admit I bounce between those and Ernie Ball. Like, I'm also an Ernie Ball stockist. So, with the shop and everything, we've moved to being a small studio, but I've now got a Luthier's account with them as opposed to being a retail store. But we've still got the stand, we've still got everything, and I still get people knocking on the door saying, "Do I need strings?" So, we're still selling the retail strings as well. So, play around with different gauges and different sets. And the handy thing for you is if you do buy 6-string sets, if you're tuning to G, you get a set of Slinkies, for example, which are 10s. Use the middle 4, and then you've got your bass string for your diddly bow.
Diddly bow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep. That's it.
I must admit, I think I've got Alexas on the little resonator cigar box 4-string that I've got purely because I got a free set of electric ones with my acoustic pack that I bought.
Yeah.
And so that's what I chucked on it last time, and it's going all right.
It's doing all right. They're all right. I'm not big on Alexas. I don't. They go black on me for some reason.
I used to be.
Yeah. They go black on me. I don't know why. It's just everyone's different. Everyone's skin has got different oils and things like that, and different acids and stuff. I have Elixirs. Forget about it. They don't work. I just stick with normal strings because I'm gonna kill them anyway.
My last packet of Elixirs, that you know how they're coated, they've got that special coating. They were all frayed, so they were furry, and
yes.
I was not impressed.
Yeah,
furry Elixirs are not good.
No, it's well. Look, thank you so much for spending time with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Like, I've known you for on a year, and this is kind of the first time we've actually had a chance to have a chat. So it's really awesome to have a chat with you. I have been following what you've been doing through social media, and I've been loving. Go and check out the film clip, man, where you're dressed up like a clown. It freaked me out, seriously. I don't like clowns.
Clown clip.
Yeah, that's good. What was that song? What was that song? Dragging Me Down. That's right. Yeah.
Down. It's a demo clip.
Yeah.
That's the first one I did as a self-recording at home, just me and the cigar box.
It's just got this groovy vibe about it, man. That song, it's like just.
I like the vibe to it. When we do the album, we'll release that as a proper track, and we'll get the boys in on the rest, doing bass and drum and stuff like that. But it was just, I wanted to demo it and see if other people liked it, because it is pretty dark. I'm dark. I like to write dark stuff.
Yeah, man.
Dark swamp, dark folk.
That's it. That's what it's all about. Mela, thank you so much. I really appreciate you spending time with us. Good luck with the Diddly Bow build. I can't wait to see. I'm sure you're going to be putting pictures up of that build as it progresses. Have you got a time frame for it, or are you just going to let it happen organically?
I'll just let it happen, because I just went back to a full-time day job. So I'll let it happen. But I will keep you posted.
That would be cool, mate.
I'll probably harass you for advice.
Yeah, anytime, mate. That's what we're here for. It's a lot of these groups out there are just absolutely wonderful. Obviously, Cigar Box Nation are brilliant. Our own group, the Cigar Box Guitar Builder podcast group, there's some amazing people in there. I don't know whether you had a chance to listen to Mick Verco from last week's episode. Mick Verco's in Wollongong. Mate, Mick Verco is just a gem of a human being, and he's out there, mate. So if you can't, just message him directly, and he'd love that. So he'll spend time with anybody, just getting into it, and he's such a positive person. But there's a lot of people who are like that, who'll give you any time that you need. It's a cool industry. Mela, good luck with everything going forward. Look after yourself. I'll see you in the funny pages.
We will. But before you disappear, there's a group of us that are trying to get Australia's biggest cigar box festival organised to happen up this way.
Yep.
I would love you to be involved in that, and you've got a lot of contacts to help us get word out and find some really unique performers. So I'll keep you posted on that too. Do
so, and what we'll do is closer as you get things set up and as you get things kind of organised, we'll do another interview. We'll actually have we'll get you back onto the podcast to share your information and share what's going on.
Awesome.
We'll look for some. Maybe they might be able to get some promotion for you, or got to bring the money in, make it happen.
All right, no worries.
All right, mate.
Catch up with you. Thank you
We'll
so
see
much.
you later.
Have a good one.
You too, mate. I'll do the sign off, but I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was Mela from Barrel Dog Band. Mela Miante from Barrel Dog Band. What an absolutely gem of a person. Fantastic. Guys, go and check him out on obviously on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram. Go and check him out. Really cool. I'm very excited about the fact that she's getting into building her own cigar box guitars, which will be very cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to be able to do, which is awesome. A little bit of housekeeping, guys. We do, if you're listening on Podbean, we do, if you want to follow the show, please follow the show. You can help support the show if you want to through the Patreon app. Also, if you're interested in cigar box guitars, obviously I do sell cigar box guitars at birdwoodguitars.com. You can check out Birdwood Guitars on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, a whole heap of stuff. We also build effects pedals under the name Retro Electric Effects, and you can check us out on Instagram there, and check us out obviously via the affiliated websites. Go and have a great day. Go and have fun. Go and build something. Look after yourselves. Take care. Bye.